Welcome back, everyone, to the Real Talk Podcast, Episode 8. I am your host, Liam Crowley, and on today's show, we got a bunch of topics. As usual, with our weekly weekend box office update. We got a casting for Shazam. We have some more Justice League news, seems to be every week. A new Daddy's Home 2 trailer. We got a Creed 2 release date, and we will bring you our first review in our weekly Star Wars movie review updates. We're going to start, obviously, with the prequels, get into the original trilogy, then we'll get into The Force Awakens, leading up, obviously, to The Last Jedi, releasing December 15th of this year. Joining me today, as always, is Mike Gillis. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? Happy to be back, as always. Can't wait to start talking about just a great movie, the Phantom Menace,
right? Yeah, just can't wait. And also on today's show, back from, I believe he was on episode 3.
Yeah.
Jake Leone. Jake, what's going on?
Hey, everybody, what's going on? I am just here because we're doing Phantom Menace today.
Yeah. Jake, will we call you a fan of the movie?
Woohoo.
All right. We'll definitely get into that later on, but as always, we're going to start today's show with our weekend box office update. Coming in at number 1, the newly released Jigsaw, making $16.64 million in its opening weekend with a budget of $10 million. Coming in at number 2 is Tyler Perry's Boo 2, A Madea Halloween, making another $10.05 million with a 52.6% drop. Coming in at number 3 is Geostorm, failing miserably with a $5.6 million income, 56.9% drop.
An interesting movie.
With a budget of over $100 million, this is what we call not a great success. Number 4 is Happy Death Day, making $5.07 million, 45.8% drop. And rounding out the top 5 is Blade Runner 2049, making $4.11 million with a 44% drop. Mike, just looking at the top 5, what stands out?
Not surprised Jigsaw's up there. A couple years ago, every Halloween a Saw movie would come out.
Yeah.
So now we have another Saw movie. Most likely going to start a new tradition with the Saw movies. But Saw movies have never been good. It's just a gore fest. The first one was okay.
Saw 1?
It was good. Classic. It was good, but they're just gore fests for Halloween. But it makes sense where it is.
Yeah.
A Boo 2, whatever. I talked about that last podcast. It's for a certain audience.
If you've ever worked in a movie theater, you know what it's like.
Geostorm is bad. Happy Death Day. I kind of want to see it. It's over Halloween now, so maybe not wait until it gets on Blu-ray. But it's up there still, and we love Blade Runner here.
Of course.
But, I'm still happy to see it's up in the top 5. Of course.
Jake, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of surprising that Blade Runner's so far low. Maybe people just aren't interested in 3-hour movies anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's tough with Blade Runner because, as we've seen, I think we've been doing weekend box office updates since it came out.
Yeah.
And every weekend it seems to drop
It drops a couple.
one place, but it drops a place, but it's not making the right income. With a budget of close to $150 million, I believe, it's probably not going to make its money back. It might break even if it becomes a success internationally, but it's tough.
It definitely could.
Yeah.
I feel like in Japan, that usually when movies come to Japan, it makes more money.
Yeah. So in this top 5, nothing really particular stands out. Obviously, Jigsaw's going to be number 1 with this weekend being
Halloween.
Halloween weekend. Boo 2, Madea Halloween. Obviously, it's the more comedic approach to Halloween. It's not
Comedy.
it's Tyler Perry. Let's
You
be
ever
real.
seen a Madea movie?
They're not good.
I've seen them on TNT in passing.
That's right.
Tyler Perry spending money to spend money at this point.
But it's not a gore fest like Jigsaw, which is more.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's very wealthy. He's very wealthy.
Yeah.
He can spend the money.
Oh,
to
he
make
loves
this.
it.
He loves it. Yeah.
He wasn't he in the latest Ninja Turtles movie?
He might have. I don't know.
Yeah, I just remember seeing him out of a movie with his name in the title, and I was like, oh, that stands out. I'm just happy to see Geostorm failing because it looks like a terrible movie. I will not be seeing it.
No.
It looks like they just spent every last dime on special effects that don't even look that great.
It's all CG.
Gerard Butler, all right. The plane falls out of the sky, big storm. I don't know. These movies haven't really ever been good. I decently, guilty pleasure, liked 2012 when it came out because I guess it was appropriate to the time, even though I don't think much people put stock in the idea of the world ending. But just this movie just looks silly, honestly.
You didn't know the special effects are real.
Oh, and
Really?
Geostorm?
Yeah.
That's probably why it cost so much money.
Had to make like the weather bad.
Yeah, they had to put those satellites in the sky for
They
real.
really did that.
It snowed really bad.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts on the weekend box office?
I'm good.
Yeah. All set?
I pass.
Obviously, next week we'll probably get back into more blockbusters as Thor Ragnarok will be coming out.
We'll see
Probably
that
going
shoot up
to
number
skyrocket
one.
over
no
$100
doubt.
million opening
Justice League
weekend.
soon too, right?
Justice League 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
2 weeks after.
So do you think Justice League will take over Thor though? It's like a big question.
That'll be tough, but I believe Thor will be that will be its third
Yeah,
weekend.
so maybe.
So I would expect it to make more, but I don't, in terms of comparing their opening weekends, it might be a little different. All right, so moving into our first news topic, we have a casting for Shazam. Zachary Levi has been cast as the title role for Shazam. We are unsure about when this movie is going to come out. They're eyeing a 29 release date. They don't have anything set in stone yet. It's set to begin production in early 2018. It's directed by David F. Sandberg, and you'll recognize Zachary Levi from his roles in past movies. He actually was Fandral in Thor: The Dark World and Thor: Ragnarok. I forget who played him in the original Thor, but this was one of those roles that he was a minor character, so people didn't really notice the recasting, but he was not Fandral in the original Thor. He voiced Flynn Rider in Tangled, and he was the title character in the TV show Chuck. Just my initial thoughts when I first saw pictures of Zachary Levi, I thought he's got like the face to be Shazam, but he doesn't have the hulking build. But I'm interested to see. He seems like a charismatic actor. From what I saw in Thor: The Dark World, he was very good as Fandral. I liked his role for what he was given. And yeah, I am optimistic to see what he can bring to the franchise. Jake, what are your thoughts?
I'm interested to see that they're moving forward with Shazam. Because, I mean, Justice League is yet to come out. We don't really know what's going to happen with Justice League yet. Could be a huge flop at the box office. We don't really know. But, yeah, it's very interesting to see that because Shazam isn't, like, DC's biggest movie, you know? So it's interesting that they're going to move forward with that.
Yeah. Mike, thoughts?
Yeah, not only is Shazam, they're going to have a Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
Which is like, you're taking two unknown properties and doing with that. So they're doing a Marvel with a Guardians of the Galaxy, taking that unknown property, making it huge. But I don't think Shazam would do that because he's Shazam. Like, he's not in these interesting, weird characters. He's just like a little kid says Shazam and he becomes this big guy.
It'll be interesting to see how Shazam ends up playing out.
Maybe you'll be good, and I don't because I don't want to hate on this movie before it even comes out. But like Justice League, I think will make its money fine. Justice League will make so much money, and Shazam could happen if they're filming it. It will happen. But,
I believe this movie will happen. Just in terms of this.
Do you think Black Adam's going to happen though?
Yes, because of The Rock being attached to it.
True.
Because I think with him, he's so busy with all of his projects. He seems to have like 4 movies come out a year, which is absurd for an actor of his magnitude.
He's the biggest actor in
Oh,
Hollywood.
he's the biggest movie star.
Literally.
It's him and Tom Cruise, essentially, that's left for like box office attractions.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll have like DiCaprio, but he only comes out with one movie.
Yeah.
It seems every
And
2 years
the
now.
movies he's in are like usually pretty like they're like
intricate, you know.
He chooses them.
But with The Rock as Black Adam, I think that is enough reason to why it will come out. This idea of having a universe within the DC universe with like this whole Shazam connectivity, or we're gonna have a Black Adam movie and a Shazam movie, and then they're gonna have a head-to-head, like eventually one big movie.
I feel like why do that?
It's a cool idea, but knowing the DC universe, I can't put much stock into it because it seems
They make movies to make movies.
They do.
they have 3 new projects get announced a week and 5 projects get canceled a week.
Well,
so
the Batgirl movie, the Sirens movie,
it's
the whole Flashpoint thing. Like,
it's just kind of random with how they announce
it's
movies.
to get investors on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, people like that. Let's make money.
One thing I do like though, Zachary Levi is not exactly a huge known actor.
Yeah.
Like I remember Zac Efron was rumored for Shazam, even like John Cena, and while
John Cena was rumored.
he was rumored.
John Cena in The Rock.
Right,
That
and that would have been pretty cool. But I know people like grimace at that thought. But Shazam, he's not. The movie's going to be about Billy Batson.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Well, I don't know because Zachary Levi's he does have acting chops. Like if you were going to go out and get a John Cena, he's literally there to be just so we don't have to use CGI essentially. So I wouldn't have been opposed to that idea. Zachary Levi, I'm excited because he's not. I wouldn't call him an unknown, but he's not exactly an established movie star, so he'll bring something new to the franchise in general. So any final thoughts on Zachary Levi being cast as Shazam?
I'm excited Shazam's happening because I like the character, but I'll be hesitant to see what's going to go on with it because you never know with DC.
Fair. Jake?
I've always thought Shazam was interesting. It's always been one of my, on the better side for DC characters for me. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes, I guess.
For sure. All right, so moving on, staying within the DC cinematic universe, we have some news about Justice League. Now, this isn't big announced news. It's kind of on the low in terms of backstage, back behind the scenes with what executives are thinking over at Warner Brothers. They're saying that Justice League's success will determine Flashpoint's production. Now, this means whether they're going to have Flashpoint have a big budget, or if they're going to keep it small, how many characters they're going to include, or if the movie happens at all. So if Justice League flops, I don't see why it would, but this is the same podcast where we expected Blade Runner to do amazing. And obviously they're two different movies, but if it flops, we might not see a Flashpoint movie. If it doesn't make great money, we could only see Flash and some side characters. If it's a great success, we might see all the Justice League back together for this movie. I'd be really interested to see what happens, especially with our weekend box office update. Now we have another thing on where, like, the DC Cinematic Universe itself isn't just relying on this, but the future films, like each individual one, kind of is determined by what Justice League does.
Yeah.
Jake, what are your initial thoughts on this news?
The Flash is definitely my favorite DCU character. I'm excited to see where it goes with Flashpoint, and I would be really excited to see if they kind of go in more of a direction like a live-action version of the animated movie. I really like the animated movie.
The animated movie is fantastic. So just overall, I would really love to see the Atlanteans and the Amazon War.
Yeah, they
and then, of course,
Thomas Wayne.
Who doesn't want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman?
Oh my god!
Yeah,
because
and as that Batman, too,
exactly.
Batman,
Man,
like,
it would
nice, very nice.
It would be amazing.
Lauren Cohan as the Joker.
Yeah,
that's not as prominent though.
Enticing, but I would say just the idea of that's what I want to see a Flashpoint movie for Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman, because as a ruthless killer Batman.
Absolutely.
I mean they've already established Batman as a ruthless murderer in
totally
the DC.
He's just disgruntled. He's fine. He's just disgruntled. He's all happy again in Justice League. You saw the trailers.
Oh yeah, he's
cracking jokes.
He's so pumped. He loves it. Ben Affleck.
He loves it.
Ben Affleck loves to talk about how much he loves playing Batman. But yeah, overall, it's just very interesting because it seems like at least Warner Brothers is taking their time with the DC Cinematic Universe. I'm not going to say they're good at it. I'm going to say they are learning their lesson, though, because in the past it seemed that they were announcing a bunch of movies every week and just naming directors that just don't get attached, writing scripts that just get scrapped after 2 days.
Like the
now,
Batman script,
now at least they know Flashpoint would be their next big blockbuster team up. I do know that Justice League 2 has a script, but like I said, don't put much stock into it until actors are signed on.
They're really jumping though. Like, think about how Marvel was paced out with like Avengers. And then Avengers 2, and now Infinity War.
And in between individual movies.
Now it's like literally Justice League, Flashpoint, Justice League 2.
I think Marvel did it great. They started out with stage 1, we started with like Iron Man,
and then
setting the scene, and I think the DCU is just trying to jump in and catch up to Marvel way too fast.
I think using these giant events like their single movies is bad. That's just not the way to do it.
Flashpoint would be a very interesting movie, but without the weight established by all these characters, it's hard to put stock into it. Of course,
meeting Ezra Miller's Flash in Justice League.
Yeah. So how can we care that much? Like, I know we saw in the trailer that his dad is going to be in the movie, and he's going to have he puts his hand on the glass while they talk, while his dad's in prison. So we'll get a 5-minute scene there. But how much weight are we supposed to put? How are we supposed to understand why he wants to save his mom so bad if we don't I don't know if his mom's even cast in Justice League. I know the solo movie is going to be Flashpoint, so maybe they'll establish that early on. But it'll be interesting going forward. I know one DC EU movie I'm pumped for is Aquaman. That's going to come out December of next year. And it's actually going to happen because they've actually already filmed it. They're in post-production now. So it's very exciting to see a movie like that coming. But